Lexis is a Derby College English program for 16 to 18-year-old speakers of other languages who are newly arrived in the city of Derby.
Alexis is a tight-knit group who I'm very proud to be a part of, as it's so much more than just teaching. It's a very supportive, positive environment where students are given the opportunity not only to learn English, but to also make friends, integrate into Derby life and culture, and feel valued.
In September 2015, the Derby Book Festival offered the students from the Lexis Academy at Derby College an opportunity to have stories they have written published in a book as part of the Shared Writing Initiative. This unique chance for students who are learning the English language to write for a real audience was not to be missed. The opportunity to be part of the wonderful annual Derby Book Festival and write a story for a real audience adds a point of focus to the students' English program. And this year, I'm really proud to announce the release of our 5th book, entitled Our Global Family, Lexis Stories. The development of their stories has benefited from workshops run by author and performance poet Jess Green and editing assistance from their dedicated ESOL tutors.
We saw them go from being totally disengaged to looking forward to the lessons each week, which was absolutely fantastic. Through this, they were eager to write about their experiences and share their stories with the rest of the class. And this helped form a really strong bond within the group, which was great to see.
It was extremely important for us to ensure language barriers were kept to a minimum and that this opportunity was accessible to our learners. Therefore, these picture stories have been developed primarily through verbal scaffolding techniques, which started with group discussions using visual aids such as timelines and images. The illustrators were then able to creatively design the picture stories through further probing conversations with the students involved. Receiving the opportunity to run this project has meant an incredible amount to both staff and students. This project has helped to really create a sense of belonging amongst our students and has provided them the chance to have their voices heard, and has also highlighted the diversity within the courses we run, something that is always celebrated.
My story is, when I was young, my mother loved me very much, and my father and brothers too. When I lived with them, the government was unjust and oppressive. My family were against this, so the government killed my uncle. This situation was not safe for me, so I left when I was 14 years old. I left Sudan with the help of someone. Firstly, I went to Libya, but it was not safe. There were a lot of militia. Everybody had guns, even the students in school. Life was dangerous there. I met a person from Sudan in Libya. He helped me. He said that a young child like me needed to be helped. He helped me find a place on a boat. This was a very dangerous part of my trip.
I lost both my parents at the age of 9 months. I'm originally from Iraq, but my mother fled to Lebanon after my father died in the war. I stayed in a church in Lebanon called Mission de Vie, Mission of Life. The goal of this church is to act for people in distress. I was therefore raised at the church, who did not have any information about my Iraqi origin. I was protected by the church until I reached the age of 18. After that, the foundation UNHCR offered to help me to solve the problem of my documents.
At first, I didn't know anything about Derby. Even though I am a fan of football, I only know the big teams in the Premier League. I was brought to Derby from London. It was hard for me because it was winter, and because of the cold weather and the feeling you get being somewhere without knowing a single person or knowing anything about that place. To me, happiness is where family and friends are. To be in Derby was being in a place without happiness. The long nights of winter, being home alone, knowing I'd got no family or any friends around that area, was so hard for me.
I'm from Malawi in Southeast Africa, but I was born in Zambia. I came to the UK on 28th of March 2018, straight to Derby, where my parents were living. My first day at Derby College was all right. However, I had mixed emotions. I was drowned in my thoughts and suddenly the door opened. The teacher entered and we all introduced ourselves. I was happy to learn my class were all the same level of English and it became easier. However, the boys didn't give the girls chance to talk, so I kept quiet. I started asking questions of myself again. How can I learn the language when I'm not talking in class? But I didn't give up. I kept going.
At Derby College, I also have all the teachers' support, and they help me a lot. They are all lovely and friendly, and I am happy to be here. I am writing this because it's from my heart.
Each year, the Lexa stories are superbly illustrated by the Derby College art students, and the exercise where the art students meet the Lexa students to gain insight into their stories is one of the highlights of the process towards publishing the stories.
Working with the Derby Book Festival is a great opportunity for our art and design students to obtain some quality work experience. During a presentation by Burn the Book, the students were introduced to how the book would be designed and printed, and they were excited to know that the book would be published and they would own a copy, their first real commercial project. The Art and Lexis students met in early March in our studio at the Joseph Wright Centre. In groups, they shared their stories of their experiences about their homeland, their journey to the UK, and their life so far in Derby, and they discussed ideas for the illustrations that might be created.
Some of my favourite parts of the project were working with a new set of people from different parts of the college, which I found interesting to learn about them and find out about their background and history. Their harrowing stories made me think about myself and the life I live, which is quite a powerful thing to do to another human being. I'm not an illustrator by nature, but I really enjoy exploring this way of working, transferring their stories and their experiences into my art, because it was a new way of learning how to turn a narrative into an art piece, which I found quite educational, and I love the different aspects of this project.
Interpreting somebody else's words visually is a skill, making an image that brings text alive to the reader. Our art students did an excellent job, especially as they hadn't begun their illustrations before lockdown, and so had to work independently at home with the materials they had available. So the work is varied in style and materials, including printmaking, computer-generated design and oil paint. It's this mix that makes the book so visually rich.
An outstanding facet interwoven into the Lexis program is the celebration of the individual students' rich life experiences, many of which are linked to the 21 diverse nationalities and cultures represented in our cohort of students, and others are influenced by the students' personal circumstances, such as fleeing war or deprivation in their own country of birth. This diversity you will have the opportunity to experience through reading the stories our students have written for this year's book. Our global family, Lexis Stories, provides the reader with a glimpse into the rich lives of these students who are now an integral part of our wider community. And I'm sure when you eventually get your hands on our books that you'll enjoy reading our students' stories and paging through the book, marveling at the wonderful illustrations.